Company is a game that is wildly popular for funny and scary moments. It regularly gets updates, making new experiences for the player. The newest update came out in April 13th of this year, adding a new moon, monsters, and many more fixes. There is now a new forest moon called Adamance. This moon is labeled as an intermediate level. It is quite unique as the outside is tricky to traverse around and has a deep valley and only a few ways to cross, one being a shaky bridge that can also be found in Vow, and the other is another suspicious looking broken walkway. Being intermediate might be an understatement, as if the bridges collapse, it is incredibly difficult to get back to your ship, and it makes it easier for the monsters to get you. This moon allows you to find coordinates to another new level. There is this little cottage in the deep valley below. Inside, you can find out how to get there in the wall within. However, you do need a key to get inside. This moon is called Artifice. It is one of the moons hidden from the terminal alongside Embryon. Artifice is the most difficult moon currently in the game. The rating is S++ and has the highest cost to travel, it being 1500 to get there. Just because it's more expensive doesn't mean it's worth it though. Artifice has a higher count of scrap, but only by a few, and the minimum scrap that can be spawned is the maximum for Titan, whose cost to go there is only 700 and is slightly less dangerous at a rating of S+. So it might be worth it to save your money for better gear than it is to risk your life for a few more pieces of scrap. This rule especially goes for Embryon as well. The rating for this moon is S, and it only costs 150 to go. This is because the scrap quality and the amount of scrap is horrible, with a minimum of 11 and a maximum of 15. This is the second lowest spawning rate for scrap, right behind experimentation. The first moon you would really go to. The only real reason to go to Embryon is for pure curiosity, due to the fact that it can't be found on the terminal, and players have to find and scan the old bird first. Once you get the bestiary log for the old bird, it gives you the option to go to Embryon, though you might want to reconsider going, as the old birds have the highest chance of spawning here, at an 86.96% chance, and it also has a high spawn, at a max of being 20 old birds, where Artifice's spawn rate is half of that, and only a max of 4 old birds can spawn. With old birds being unkillable, this moon really isn't worth going to, unless you want the pieces of lore it may offer. Another note on the moons is that the creator has reworked the outside of Dying. This map no longer immediately has light posts to show you where the entrance is. The entrance location has also changed, making it more difficult to locate. Although, that is not the only change made to Dying. The scrap spawn rate has increased, but also the amount of landmines, spike traps, causing this moon to be slightly more difficult. The manors now spawn smaller. Due to the fact they spawn in large, it was too spread out, and it made the difficulty that much higher. Because of that, you had to run a whole lot in between loads, which in turn wastes a lot of time. But the more time goes on, the more monsters spawn, in turn making it overall more difficult for players. So by decreasing the size of the manors, it lowers the difficulty level of the maps, back down to what they originally intended to be. There are now 3 new monsters that spawn inside and outside levels. Within the manors, there's now a new monster called the Butler. He is a humanoid creature, and mostly docile when you're with your teammates. But be aware if you find yourself alone with him, as he will try to kill you with his knife. If you end up killing this fine fellow, he'll burst into Butler bees, causing even more pain. Though he isn't the most dangerous monster added to this update, the old birds take that title. They are tall, robotic creatures thought to have been leftover weapons of war, which makes sense, as one of their robot arms shoots missiles at you, and are highly dangerous. These guys also can't be killed, and use boosters to get to you more quickly, making it more difficult to outrun and escape. Well, hopefully there's at least one harmless creature that was added to the update, right? Well, yes and no. Meet the tulip snake. They're potentially harmless, though it may scare the daylights out of you while it jumps on your face. Once it grabs onto you, it will try to fly up into the air, where it will continuously fail. But if there's more than one, they can succeed, and it may cause fall damage depending on how high they can pull you up. Other than indirect damage to the player, these guys are completely harmless, and if I dare say, even a bit cute. With there being new monsters added to the game, some of the other ones have been slightly reworked, such as the baboon hawks now spawn in groups of 2, but they now have 4 HP instead of 6. They also cause less damage to the player, making them slightly less dangerous, but if more than one group spawns, they could put you in a pickle. Since it is a springtime update, there are now new throwable Easter eggs. It can make some things very comedic at times. This item is also a good grab to sell, as it is light and has a decent price. Though do be careful, you can accidentally throw them, causing damage to teammates, which can also make you lose out on some money. However, it can make it comical at times. They come in different colors and patterns, and when thrown, they have a chance to explode, throwing players back and potentially damaging players and monsters within the vicinity. On the bright side, eggs are also pretty useful. If a landmine is in the way, you can actually throw one, causing the landmine to go off at a distance, saving you from harm. There are also new cosmetics to the game, with 2 new suits that have unique patterns. One being this lovely little bunny suit, and this cute bee suit. They've also added a new disco ball to pair with your boombox, and make partying with your friends even more fun. The sound can even cause eyeless dogs to come and have a good time with their new chew toy. There's also a few quality of life additions to the game. When the player runs downhill, they now run slightly faster. It makes the game a bit more immersive. Also, when you're running away from a monster, it might give you a sense of relief. Once you're down the slope, however, you'll slow down and might get caught, so don't let your guard down. There is also a new hazard to the game within the walls, a new severe acupuncture device. Though these lovely little potato mashers are easy to avoid, as they make a loud noise every time it's activated, it can sometimes catch you off guard, because they can be so well hidden, and it's hard to remember where they are when you're running away from monsters. Along with the new quality of life additions to the game, there are also changes that were made to fix things from past updates. They aren't major changes for the most part, but they should be noted, as you might end up dead because of them, such as the bell. It now chimes when dropped, which in turn now makes a sound that can alert enemies near you, so it's a bit more dangerous, especially when you're near the eyeless dog. You might want to just keep holding on to that one until you take off. The weight of the shovel has now been increased, causing the bridges to collapse with just one player holding the shovel. With the weight being increased, it makes it a little harder for the player to kill entities. They also fixed crouch sprinting, so there's no more silently sprinting. The glitch made it so you could press the crouch button while sprinting, and spamming this would make you sprint silently, not causing monsters to hear you. Obviously, this fix is sad for the players, but it makes the game a little bit more balanced, considering the fact that it wasn't supposed to be like that in the first place. It made it so it was easier, and kind of defeated the purpose of the skill and strategy of the game. All in all, this update has made the game have much more fun experiences, and helped the player get more immersed with the game itself. With new monsters and quality of life additions, this update was well rounded, and I can't wait to see what the next one has in store. Check out the Twitch channel, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!